Hi, how's it going? My name is Tyler Paschke. I am from Denver, Colorado. Grew up just south of Denver, but went to school up at CU Boulder. Go Buffs! But I was an academy student way back in 2011, and I really found out about the academy when Mori was tutoring me in economics and econometrics classes, and kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I think you've got the brain and kind of the skill set and the kind of hunger that I look for in academy students." And I had no idea what he was talking about with the academy, risk reserving, data modeling, etc. It's, looking back today, it'd be considered more so a data science or a data science proficiency, learning how to really take data and then apply that to the banking and insurance worlds and make predictive models from them. But at that time, it was way over my head. I had really no exposure to it at all. But I knew that I was coming up on graduation. I was an econ major. I didn't have a whole lot of things that would differentiate me from every other econ major graduating in 2012. And I knew that I didn't want to go into sales. I wanted to do something more analytical, but those kind of jobs are hard to find, coming fresh out of college. Most of the jobs you find are around sales, account management, and more of the kind of day to day and less kind of analytical and strategical jobs. And so I went out a little bit on a whim and trusted Maury that his data voodoo, as he called it, was something that was in demand and was, a high skill set. And so just jumped in head first, really started learning. And I got exposed to this whole world of data science and data modeling. And in particular, he applied it to the risk industry of insurance and banking, and I went in coming out of college, I was rare at that point in that people were struggling to get job interviews, and I had, interviewers and recruiters lining up to fly me out to San Francisco, to fly me out to New York, Chicago, and interview me for all these jobs that were not entry level jobs by any means. We were talking about, senior level analyst jobs coming right out of college. So right off the bat, I knew I had a leg up and had an incredible opportunity, and it got to the point where I realized I didn't have to take a job. I could choose a job. And as I interviewed with different companies and really trying to find what I wanted to do with my career, I realized that I didn't really want to move to New York. I didn't really want to work in finance and banking and choose that choice of career path. And so I used all these skills and all the data science and data analytics that Maury taught me, and I applied it to the world of digital advertising and tech. And I went to work for a small tech startup company right out of college. And it was the best career choice I could have ever made. It was one of those things where a lot of people at the company weren't used to having a data modeler or someone of that level come in and work with their data. And so I could add a tremendous amount of value from day one. But for my own personal career, I was able to go in and start at a senior level. I didn't ever take a entry level job. I took a job that put me on a trajectory that put me years ahead of my peers in terms of both position and in compensation and pay. And it gave me the ability to look holistically at a data set and extract value and communicate that to high level stakeholders on the executive suite. And I don't think there's a lot of people, being a 22-year-old kid, who get that opportunity. So it was an incredible opportunity from just a career standpoint. But even on a financial standpoint, it gave me the ability to buy a house at age 24. It gave me the ability to really pay off any and all student loans I had and be net positive very early in my career. And it's paid dividends ever since. So I would highly suggest taking the academy to anyone who is a numbers minded or a more analytical minded type person. There's a lot of success you can have in sales, and there's a lot of success you can have in a lot of roles, but this program in particular guarantees your success. It's one of the most in-demand skill sets that I see in the industry today. And with the rise of big data and continual data collection, there's only going to be more demand for these type of skills in the future. So thank you, Mori. Thanks for all that you've done to help me, and hope that many others can kind of enjoy the same success.
Hello, my name is Evan Etienne. I'm from Carmel, California. I went to school in Boulder, Colorado. Go Buffs. I began attending the academy back in 2015. At the time, I was in Leeds Business School. I knew I was majoring in finance. I knew I wanted to do something more than was just equity valuations, which at the time seemed like what the school was really pushing for most of their finance students to do. I had a lot of interest in securitization products because I thought it was fancy and there was a lot of math involved, and this was something I liked very much. I didn't really know how to get started about building myself for this type of role, and I wasn't really getting much support from the school aside from a very simple overview of derivative products class at the time. I believe I received a flyer, an email that was recruiting for the academy, but I think what it said, it suggested some kind of grade point average higher than a B plus to participate. It wasn't a requirement, but it was a suggestion. At the time, I was getting mostly A's on all my tests, but I was never going to class because I felt like I was learning the material much more efficiently on my own time, as opposed to waiting for buses in the snow to sit in a big lecture hall and have someone talk in front of a PowerPoint, for 2 hours of my day. So I emailed Mori. I tried to explain this to him while admitting I didn't have the GPA that I had suggested, but I told him I was super passionate, I like to work hard, and I was at a point where I was kind of looking for a direction. He told me to come on in, we could have a discussion and see if it's a good fit. And I think it was, by the end of that first meeting, we were both pretty clear that the academy was going to be a perfect fit for me. At the time, I didn't really understand that I would need SAS programming or data analytic skills to pursue the path I wanted. And this was something that was kind of out of the box available for me at the academy. Mori was also the first person to introduce me to financial and insurance captives, as well as reinsurance. And I felt like this subject matter ran in line with my passion for securitization, so I became very eager and excited to learn about these things. As I started working with Mori, it became more apparent to me that just by virtue of doing the work at the academy, my school was becoming infinitely easier. This, coupled with some gradual maturity throughout my college years, helped me boost my GPA to over 3.7 before I graduated. And I don't think this matters too much to me in the long run, GPAs in general, but I know it's something that a lot of folks do consider very valuable, and it's what they're looking for, it's what they hone in on. I just wanted to mention it because it's something that was not really an expected result for me from joining the academy, but by the time I graduated, I was very proud to be able to say I was doing really well in these regular classes. Another thing is my enhanced education from the academy enabled me to speak to my professors at a much higher level and seek out even more knowledge that I previously thought not available at the school. For example, I got to audit a capstone master's course for derivative products from business school my senior year, and I thought that was a great honor. And I got that from speaking to the professor who was teaching the class directly and telling him, hey, I now understand this much. I see that this is available. I looked up in the course catalogs, and for some reason this is only available at the master's level. And him hearing that's what led to me getting that opportunity. After graduation, I moved to San Diego because I wanted to live there, so I was going to couch surf while I looked for a permanent role. Mori had told me that due to the nature of my jobs I was looking for, I would find a lot easier success in Chicago, New York, or London, some big metropolitan area. San Diego isn't really known for the finance or insurance industries or their captive domiciles. But at that point in my life, I told him, hey, this is kind of what I want to do. I know there's not many jobs like this available down there, but with the skills you taught me, let's go see how it works. I think I'm willing to give it a try, and it's kind of send a Hail Mary for myself. It was maybe a month or two before I landed a role as a catastrophe analyst at one of the fastest growing insurance companies in California on a specialized team where basically everyone on the team had either all their actuarial exams, PhD in math, or both. I remember the recruiter congratulating me and telling me how competitive the role was, and it was remarkable that I was able to achieve this at such a young age. Me thinking to myself, I really had this in the bag during the interview. I crushed the interview. I crushed all the technical questions. I was able to communicate a deep understanding of like a variety of insurance and financial related topics. And part of the team that interviewed me for the team interview told me that none of them had even been aware of what captives were, or what SaaS programming was before they joined their current roles at that company there. So I think that also went over really well. And those were just things that they're just things that you didn't really know you needed to know. That Mori told me, hey, learn about this stuff. No one ever told me I needed to know, and then me knowing that became extremely valuable. So having this job enabled me to buy a condo when I was 25 in San Diego, and live really a life I had been dreaming of, working a really good job in what I would consider one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's kind of hard to beat. It's funny because, looking back now, I remember working with Mori, and some of me committing to the academy required a certain level of trust. I was like, hey, it seems like you know what you're talking about, Mori. I've vetted the academy. I've had others vet it for me. So I kind of just, put my head down and thought to myself, all right, time to take this plunge. And always in my head, I kind of thought it'd be a cool T-shirt at the end. Have something like, if this actually works. In Mori I trust was the slogan I was thinking of. So today, I could say in Mori I trust. Thank you so much, dude, for everything you've enabled me to do with my life. I hope my experience and me sharing my story is able to help someone on a similar path to make the decision to jump on into the academy and get to work. Thanks again, Mori.
You just heard from Tyler and Evan, who both landed great jobs right out of college for one main reason. They were both ERM Academy students. The only risk management training that guarantees you a $70,000 plus job. So if you want to get a high-paying, stable, and secure career in analytic risk, there's no better option than ERM Academy. Why choose ERM Academy? Well, our graduates buy their own houses instead of living with their parents when they graduate. You'll be trained by experts in the field of risk management. From there, you yourself will become an in-demand expert. And finally, we guarantee you will get hired at least a $70,000 plus job. Now ask yourself, what other programs guarantee that? Will you be our next success story? Partner with us to secure your career success. Call Mori at 949-973-4524. That's Mori at 949-973-4524.